Season one pissed me off because you could tell someone told them to vaguely follow something that resembled Robert Jordan. In season two, there is no Robert Jordan. There is no Wheel of Time. There is no Eye of the World, Great Hunt, or The Dragon Reborn. None of this is completely made up. Why did they pay all that money to Robert Jordan's widow to make this? They could have made their shitty, flashy looking, modern sensibility, nonsensical, non immersive, boring ass fantasy show without putting the title of Wheel of Time on it.
Oh,
I can't. First of all, welcome to everybody in chat. We will get to you. I don't know what the hell was worse. Thanks, Brian. I don't know what the hell was worse. The fact that the show. Okay, that was really cute, Brian. Thank you. Can you not do that anymore? What was worse? The fact that the show wasn't actually on Amazon at all at 8:00. It wasn't on the app. It wasn't on the mobile app. It wasn't on smart TVs. None of us could find it. Luckily, we managed to patch through to somebody else to watch it in the Discord of the Band of the Red Hand. I don't know where they got it. And we had to listen to the audio on Prophet of the Dragon's computer microphone. So we're going to watch this episode. Now, I got screen caps of a lot of this. This is not going to be a family-friendly show tonight. I can tell you that. There's going to be a lot of strong language and profanity, and all of it rightly so. That being said, it is time to bring in all of our guests. Look who we have with us tonight. We have Jana Klassen is in the house. We've got Constrained Anachronism ZCC. Pips is here. We got Mr. Zip, Max, Mule, Robert Moore, Thumb Maryland is with us, Mahalen Air. If I missed you, just go, hey, Salty, say my name because I want you to hear me say my name. Say my name, say my name. Before we get into all of that, Prophet of the Dragon. You and your son, all of us, we watch this. Give me 3 seconds, and then we're going to move on to Nerdporial.
What the hell?
That's a good 3 seconds. Nerdporial, you watched it with us. What did you think, dude? 3 seconds. Give me 3 seconds.
The Forsaken or Michael Myers now. That's it.
Yep. Alex, we didn't watch it together. Baffled? 3 seconds. Chat. What did you feel? What did you feel watching this? Because at certain points, and we had Aldan with us earlier, who in Australia, who couldn't get it in Australia either. Okay, and he was watching it with us. He was just disgusted and bored. He got up and left. I was looking at a picture of his sofa. I was looking at a picture of Aldan's sofa. I didn't know he's got a nice sofa, but he wasn't even watching because who cares?
I was actually watching the sofa more than the show because I had to get up and leave too for a minute because what the hell? Like my brain is broken.
This, first of all, let's talk about the writing. This show felt more like a CW 90210, and I believe it was at some points it was Days of Our Lives. And I said this, I actually screamed this and broke some shit when we were watching it together. This show was written by a 13-year-old girl that is on the spectrum. That's what this show was written like. This was written in a little pink-hearted diary that has little flowers in it and pictures of ponies. And she wanted to write all of this diversity and representation. But she had to pretend. She had to pretend that this was in a fantasy world. Is that unfair?
No. Like
the only thing that I might object to is I truly think you need to have gone through the American university system to have the woke mind virus as bad as you would need to have it in order to watch this show or to write this show. What are we doing here?
I'll drink to that.
You know, season 1, and Steve, I think you said it. Season 1 was terrible. It was terrible, but you could tell that there was an adult in a room, and I've said this on a live stream, I think with you guys, that there was somebody somewhere told Rafe Judkins, do your goddamn job. Try and adapt this. Just fake something. Fake something that looks like if you only read the back of one of the Robert Jordan books, maybe, or even just a Tolkien book, or you just walk through the fantasy section of a bookstore, that you would maybe think that this is a fantasy show. This again confirms for me everything that was in that goddamn script that I keep talking about that was there. And I'm going to put it on the screen right now, just because I want to prove to you this isn't like some list that I don't have. This is the script, guys. This is real. This is a full-on script right here. It all of it, and people on Reddit went through the metadata on this file. Okay? I am 95% sure this is real. Alex, if you're going to disagree with that, you tell me.
Nope. I'm 100% convinced that's real. I believe that is the pitch draft that Judkins delivered to Amazon once it was given its approval.
Why this is important, why this script is important, is because a lot of the storylines and characterizations and sex humor and just completely not feeling like Robert Jordan's world is entirely within that script. Now, we are going to talk about that. I am going to do another video on that. I believe I did a video with that with Amanda Manethrin and Prophet of the Dragon going on 2 years ago now. But here we are. And what I want to do is I want to start with you, Alex. I want you to tell me on the scale, we're now through 4 episodes, which one was the best or the worst? Let's just say that. Which episode out of 4, half the season is gone, which one was the best out of all of them? Seriously.
I think I would rate 2 the best. I think I would rate it 2, 4, 1, 3. But we are talking like if 2 is a 1 out of 10, we're talking 0.2 difference on a scale of 10.
Nerdporial, what do you think?
The best episode? Probably, I don't know, probably episode 3 because of poor Uno. You know, he
escaped. Yeah, he escaped.
He's a hero of the Horn. Get it? Okay, I'll go away.
Jana Clausen, I felt disbelief and apathy. That's what I felt. There were moments of rage, but it was mostly that in multiple times while watching this with these guys, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Nothing happened. I just...
How many times have you said F this show? I mean, I must have heard at least 50 times.
But that's all you think, right? It's crazy. And do you want my rating, sir?
Do it.
This is one of the. I felt like this is the worst for me. Okay, just because simply there are no rules in your world. Your world is completely upside down. Fast travel is enabled. Nobody dies. Nothing happens. It's boring. It goes on. You have this weird thumping music in the background. Everything's dark. A single fade shows up for some reason. It's just nothing. There's nothing, and it's like for how bad episode 2 was. It had that one scene that was half okay for half of it. That's the only and that's probably, and that one pissed me off a lot, and that's probably the best episode because at least something happened in it. This is this is a world breaker.
This is literally, there is nothing good. Okay, there is nothing good in season 2. Season 4 to me felt like much like it did in season 1, where there was a little bit of tone. It was like a tiny little sliver of pretending to be a fantasy show. And it started in 3, and now in 4, this is literally ER. I don't even know this is Beverly Hills 90210. This is Falcon Crest. This is Dallas. Okay, except that there's chicks that can do magic, I guess, maybe, and then there's this guy who looks like a used car salesman who keeps telling everybody he's the betrayer of hope and all this other shit.
Why do they keep repeating themselves over and over again? How many times have we now heard blood calls blood? Stop saying blood calls blood. Nobody. Why does Ishmael keep referring to himself as being called Forsaken, as if he is the, like, they call him he is Forsaken, like that's his name. It's like, stop doing that. It's dumb. Stop it. And Ryan's sitting next to me. He's like, why is he in a suit? Like, why is he in a 3-piece suit? Like, what is he wearing? Like, and it's like, that's like, the costuming is so low on the problems.
Yeah.
That it's not even worth talking about the costume because the rest is so bad. It's crazy.
Yes. So if there is anybody who doubts that script is real, read the note about how every sex scene, the woman must be in a position of power.
Every single one.
And then think about what we've watched so far this season. That script could not be more real, 100% genuine. If you think that script is fake, you probably think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Like,
it's true. It's true. And what I loved was the BIPOC woman in charge. The
my God,
woman with the dreadlocks in charge of the mental institution.
Guys,
in Carhean, we have to have diversity in STEM. This show, I don't care what this show would be. If this was on CBS and it said NCSI or whatever garbage shit tier stuff is on broadcast TV, gentlemen, it's weapons free. There are no filters anymore.
What?
This is probably some of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. I don't know how somebody said, let's give you more than $80 million to do this. I don't understand.
Well, dude, we are to believe, okay, and I have to rewatch this just because of the chaos trying to find it to watch somewhere, which is crazy. But we are to believe that Rand went to Carhean because Moraine made it so. Logain is in Carhean because Moraine made it so. How? Why? What?
The power of vagina.
The
power of vagina.
And then she walked. She just walked to Carhean from Arafel? Is that where she was? Or
sure. She's in Oz. She was in Oz. She was with Kansas and Dorothy. This show doesn't even know, Steve. This show doesn't even know what the hell you're talking about. They have no idea what the hell you're talking about. You can say Chicago. Oh yeah, she was in Chicago, and then she ended up in Falmey. She ended up in Falmey, Nebraska. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so done.
Oh God.
So done.
Staplebow, I wish I could answer that question. How did Moraine track Rand down to the sex hut? And I'm genuinely asking this question. Did she go to the town square, look up the property records, find Celine, look up her family, and went, yes.
I bet you $1 million. I bet you $1 million, theoretical dollars. She's going to say, "Oh, I gave you a coin that's on your person, so I could track you."
Yes.
That would be amazing. Actually, I can even see how they would do it. They would say your boss, the dreadlock lady, in your last paycheck gave you the tracking coin.
No, they use the postal system. They use the postal system because she just sent a letter and asked, "Have you seen Rand?" and it came in 3 days express.
The little man Angriel, she's tracking that or some shit like that. Where did that go anyways? Does he still have that?
I got a member chat. This is from Doviende say Tovius again. Roll the dice again. It's been a channel member for 18 months. Says still couldn't get through the first 20 minutes of the episode. If you have not seen this, It was torture. It was absolute
torture.
I don't understand. I don't understand how you willfully destroy something because there's no lore. There's no story here, okay? They're not doing anything. But they just made their own shit up, and they made their own fantasy shit up, and it's like a bad episode of like a show that would have been canceled on Fox after like half a season. This is CW level, and it's said way too many times, but when it's true, it's true. CW level, talking about feelings. Everything was talking about goddamn feelings.
Maxim Alana's warder now probably has. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I went off on a rant. This is again from Dovia. He's not done. He says, I can only take a few minutes of the show at a time, but I'm here to support the cancellation of this shit and give you guys, it's clipped, and you guys keep me sane. I don't know what to do with how. I'm not even mad. I'm just disgusted, and I'm in disbelief.
Oh, I'm mad.
It's just disbelief. Nerdporial, what about you?
Oh, he's muted, buddy.
Sorry. I honestly had no idea what was going on. I mean, it was all like meaningless conversation. It didn't move the story forward. I didn't see anything from Robert Jordan in this. I mean, what was there? Like nothing. I mean, nothing meaningful. We're already halfway through the season. It's 8 episodes. I mean, why not tell the story that Robert Jordan wrote? Why not have more than 8 episodes? Just because Stranger Things did it, why does it have to be 8 episodes? Why can't it be a little bit more? Cut the budget a little bit.
Well, these are longer episodes. That's the thing, and I talked about it earlier with Steve. But again, the reason why season 1 episodes were 45 minutes, and I'm convinced of this now, is because they reshot the entire goddamn first season. Because that script is what they shot. Somebody at Amazon saw it, including Brandon Sanderson. This Brandon Sanderson took somebody's nuts and ripped them off their body and has them in a drawer somewhere after how pissed he probably was. And they had to reshoot it. And that's why there was nothing and nobody anywhere, and it looked like shit because they had to reshoot the season over. Go ahead, Steve.
Who, funny enough, Brandon Sanderson, is streaming live right now about his books. He's doing a Q&A live on his channel right now when The Wheel of Time released on Amazon Prime. I find that speaks very loudly to me that he decided to go live at the same time that this show dropped. If anybody thinks he is involved in this at all, I think that shows that he just does. He's just left it. He don't care. He's getting his executive producer credit, and that's it.
It's hard to be funny with this show because it's so bad. It's so bad, but it's trying to be so virtuous in a way, like if a 14-year-old girl was coming up and preaching to you about how you're not recycling right, and she just went on and on and on, and you don't even give a shit. Okay, that's what this episode felt like. It felt like being trapped on a bus sitting next to a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon, no disrespect, somebody trying to proselytize you, and all you want to do is claw your goddamn eyes out and get away from them.
Yeah, so, I mean, I almost want to talk about, like, so what did each of the characters do? So Moraine went from house.
I think it's Aristel. Yeah.
From the Longhouse to Kyrian, then went to hang out with her sister, interviewed the girl at the insane asylum, talked to Logain, but like said you have to train him, but also but nothing came out of it.
How is he going to train him? Sorry.
How?
So then, but so then she went back to her sister's place, and her sister said, "Wahaha! I have replaced all of your spies. All of your spies are now my spies." And then Moraine was upset, and then she teleported to the house
Yes.
where she slit Lanfear's throat.
I got that one. I can share that. Well, no, she didn't. She actually impaled her. I've got that scene. Let me see.
She did both.
Yes,
She
okay,
did
you're right.
both.
So
Apparently,
Rand-
you have to cut the head off a Lanfear, but fades are fine.
Yeah, so it was through the chest with Rand's sword that he left outside because reasons. And then slit her throat with her dagger. Just
So
hear,
this-
hear me out here. Why not set her on fire? Like,
Dude, I don't know. After we'll shoot her, cut her head off, hang her, draw and quarter her. What you're looking at, if you have not seen the episode, this was after she seduced Rand and then tied him to a bed, and there was all kinds of sexy time, and then she's grinding on Rand, and then says to her, "I'm a monster," says to Rand, "I'm a monster too," and then there starts to be this weird tingly thing, and the show shows you, does a little flashback of the bloody chick in the cave, and then as she's arching her back like she's about to have the big she gets a stake driven through the middle of her goddamn chest by super magical lesbian Moiraine.
I have a theory. I think that what usually how you dispatch a Murdral. I think that's how you're going to dispatch a Forsaken in this.
But they didn't even dispatch
I think you're going to have to behead them, and they have to realize they're dead.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All I know is that there's a scene straight out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, man. It was just like Buffy stabbing a vampire in the back. Like it's.
Hey, expectations were subverted, I guess.
Oh my God, you're right though.
Let me read this real quick. This is from Charles Troopy. He says, "My daughter is watching Riverdale. The dialogue is literally the same and inane crap as Wheel of Time." And let me get to this super chat. I'm going to try. Are they up? Are they here? No, of course they're not. This is from. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Restream's acting crazy. Thank you, Jana. This is from Jana Clausen for $5 Canadian. Thank you. Says, reminder: Kinslayer's dagger is a 2 days ride, give or take, from Carhean, according to Book 5. I agree. We are in a place where the 14-year-old girls, or those with the mentality of very vindictive, very petty, very sheltered 14-year-old girls, think that this is what fantasy is. And when I say that, I'm referring to Rafe Judkins, I'm referring to Amanda Schumann. We're starting to see them fall back on the tropes that were used in Chuck and the Blacklist. You know where that doesn't work? That doesn't work in high fantasy. Imagine if they would have done this shit in Game of Thrones. You know what would have happened to Game of Thrones? Would have been canceled. Now, this show, I don't know how long it's going to go on. How many seasons are we going to get this shit? Are they going to just do season 3 too? I don't know. Steve, I need you to sort of react to this. You and I, we were watching when Lanfear was grinding on Rand and then got the spear through her. What did you think and what did you feel? Because all I heard was shit breaking over at Prophet of the Dragon and like oh my God, that's all I heard. What was going through your head? And thank you for that super chat, Jenna.
Every time, like, it's a meme, right? But you think it can't get worse, and it just keeps getting worse, and then it's just like, again. I said it half joking. Every Rand scene has ended with some form of sexual activity. Every single one of them. So here we are again. Then I'm like, then we got the BS monologuing from her. Why? prior we have her, doing the woe is me, my boyfriend was mean to me bullshit, and then I'm a monster too. What? So are you trying to kill him now? I don't understand what's now happening with her. Is she in love with him, or is she trying to kill him? I don't know. And then she dies. She's dead. And no, she's not dead. Why can nobody die in this world? They kill them, and they're still alive. Lan, Moraine, and now Lanfear have all died this season, 100%. That's not even counting Uno. Plus, every single person that's got launched back in the air 50 feet into a solid object, they're all dead too. So it's just mind-blowing that, because we need our fake outs, we need our shock moments, so let's just kill people and say they're not dead. It is just it's world breaking, it's story breaking, it's ridiculous. How can you not do better than this? It is shocking how bad it is. Shocking.
So Matt had, I think I counted 13 words of dialogue.
Yeah.
And it was him losing at dice again.
He lost?
Maryland.
I missed it. Sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Sorry. Thumb Maryland says, notice how the show reuses the same ideas over and over? Yeah. Multiple Nin fake out deaths. Multiple times Moiraine tries to cut people's throats.
They keep using the same lines too.
And that would tell you that scene in the Blight was probably part of the original script, which I've got to go through and read. And I want to line those up with the scenes that were actually on screen from season 1. God help me. But it's true. I mean, we have a weird Frankenstein show where, again, no matter how bad season 1 was, and it was trash.
Bad.
Season 2 is worse.
Constrained anachronism. That is a terrible thought.
What is it?
He said what if what she was doing was Lanfear was trying to bond Rand. That's what the tingling was. Probably. That's probably exactly what it was.
Fuck. Oh no! And is that going to be how they kill it? I can't. Fuck this shit. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
It's stupid enough an idea that they probably, if you think it's stupid, they probably do it, because now it's like, okay, well now she can just talk to him through his head, because we're just gonna make up how water bonds work. So she's gonna have bonded him or some BS, and we're gonna have her staring at a wall or something, going, Rand, I am always with you. You're mine. Blah, blah, blah. And he's going to be like, no, you're not. You're monster. Blah. And then she's going to take off her pants and she's going to flick the bean while he, does the pole dance. Because every Rand scene has to end in sex. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I mean, and here's the thing, Steve. Your melodrama was more convincing and actually had more pathos and depth than any moment of season 2. Lyle Hammock has been a longtime supporter of this channel for all of us, actually, if we think about it. It's a $20 super chat. Thank you, Lyle. He says, here's something for suffering through the agony of watching this thing. I hate the fact that modern writers think that just having empty characters talking about their shallow, stupid emotions makes good emotional scenes. Hail to you, Lyle. And that's the thing. We all heard Rafe talk about emotional journeys. I didn't realize that was pointless, meaningless little 60-second, little girl pissy pants, I want my dolly scenes with Warders, with Aes Sedai, with the Accepted, with the Forsaken. I genuinely, I don't understand. Now, there's something else I want to show you guys. For those of you who haven't seen the episode yet, let's take a look at this.
Well, God,
gentlemen, have at it. Let's talk about this scene. Let's describe. This shit was jammed. in the latter quarter of the episode, just out of nowhere, you have not Min, who looks like she was shopping at Target, if we're honest about it. Again, I don't know fashion. She's sitting at a table, and then suddenly they do this fast forward jump cut thing. I mean, Steve, what the fuck did I watch? Why did that happen? Just tell everybody at home what.
I have no idea why it happened. All of us, like, so the only thing I can think is this is supposed to be Tar, and Ishmael's pulling people into Tar to freaking antagonize them and have them dream shit that's their nightmares or some crap. But like, you almost can't find words. I'm stuttering because it's just like Min's aunts pull her out of bed and they go, "Oh, tell people's fortunes." And every fortune is, of course, of somebody dying because, as it goes, Min never once, says she's trying to get rid of her. Like, why is she trying to get rid of it? Oh, because because she has, I guess this is another PTSD moment where, her aunts were mean to her, so she wants to get rid of it. So now she's going to be a dark friend and help frickin' Ishmael? Take Matt to Kerhian for some goddamn reason? Why is Matt going to Kerhian?
Did you like Min in the books? Did you like the fact they missed Beryl on? Who didn't like Min? I thought she was pretty hot and she was fun and she was smart and she was cool. In this show, she betrays everybody. She's literally told by the Dark One that if you want to get rid of all your visions because she's haunted, she's terrified, her life is so so fucking miserable because she can't stop seeing people who walk by and what's going to happen to them in the future, because that's book accurate. The Dark One's like, I can alleviate you of this. All you have to do is give me Matt. It is fucking stupid. It's just God.
Why is she have no care? See, this is the problem too. Is they keep Ishmael is going to have full control over the Forsaken. So apparently Lanfear is working for him. So now Ishmael doesn't have to worry about Rand. Is that what we're doing? Because things like I don't understand what they're doing, and it's just like, why the hell, Ms. I won't hurt Matt. Don't make me hurt Matt. I've fallen in love with him. He is my dream boat. Like, what? Like, where did that come from? I won't hurt Matt. I won't hurt Matt. I'll hurt everybody else on the planet if you get rid of this shit off of me, but I won't hurt Matt. Like,
I'm going to go to Nerdporial on this one, and I want you to please answer this honestly, sir. Make sure you're not muted. When you tried to watch Star Trek, Kurtzman Trek, is this what the dialogue was like? Did they do this to Star Trek? I mean,
yeah.
Is this essentially the same horseshit? It just put into the show?
Yep. It's exactly the same. It's they don't talk like they're it does. They don't talk like I can't believe that I can't suspend my disbelief because of what I'm hearing. If that makes sense.
Were the same tropes there where it was always the BIPOC woman in charge and it was always the woman who was right and the men were in the background and the women had all the dialogue? I'm just curious because I didn't watch full episodes of Discovery. I tried watching the first 5 minutes of the first episode. I was like, I'm done. And then the only other Star Trek, Kurtzman Trek I watched was I tried to watch Picard season 3 with you guys, which was a miserable goddamn experience. But Go ahead.
Discovery was just really stupid. And it took me a couple seasons to figure that out because I wanted to get, at 2017, 2018, 2019, I still had hopes for entertainment. I had hopes that things could improve over the course, just like it did in the past. But based on, 2023 now, it's 4 years later. It's pretty much proven that people do not learn from their mistakes. They do not listen to criticism. They do not listen to feedback from fans. It's all dismissal now. And because of that, and I said this earlier, I have no faith, and I don't have any reason to believe that the shows like this and other future Trek shows or whatever else or other future adaptations are going to be written in good faith.
No.
I mean, it's all lies at this point. When they say, "Oh, we made this for fans," it's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've got us to believe a lot of lies, some of which are proving very lethal, some of which involve counting things. If you talk about that, well, you're going to go to jail. Mule says, it would be fun for the four of you to make up a bunch of fake plot points for after the episode that are so outlandish and dumb, mix them together with real terrible plot and see if non-watchers can tell. I don't know how to make something fucking stupider than this. I don't.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Ishi and Lady Surath are fucking, and she's actually bossing him around. She's calling the shots.
Snacks and Comics is here. This is the puppet creator who does Gator. You guys watch Snowdub and Friends, The Cotton Connection. Good dudes, Snacks and Friends. Good guy. Says, I tried to watch this show. Couldn't even get 10 minutes in without being bored out of my mind. Rather watching you all trash on it. Well, the thing is it's difficult to be funny trashing a show which is so, it hates itself. It is desperate to escape the intellectual property and even this fantasy setting. And I said it in my video today. It is desperate to escape the bonds of being in a high fantasy world. It just pretty much wants to be in a cafe in Portland or maybe a hospital with beeping heart monitors where they can be in nurse uniforms talking about like boys or girls or fuck those. I mean, the show has no interest in fucking doing a fantasy anything. Amazon, how did you ever expect this to be Game of Thrones? How?
If they hate history so much, if they find history and things problematic as they do, why adapt epic fantasy? Why adapt high fantasy, which is heavily based off of, Middle Ages, medieval history, maybe a little Renaissance too. Why? For name recognition? I mean, honestly, fuck off. Fuck you for deceiving people. And honestly, fuck you for, people have been reading Wheel of Time since 1990, the first book published in 1990. People who have read it are it's multi-generational at this point. And people have waited for years for an adaptation. And this is what they fucking do.
They showed up for the premiere of season 1, and then they all left by the end of episode 3. Guess what? Those people, we need to wait for confirmation. And Alex, I don't know if you want to repeat those numbers again and the source where you got them from. It would appear that almost 2/3 who showed up for the original premiere are not showing up for this one. It's more than half. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, that does appear what it looks like. It looks like they've fallen off from about 1.16 billion minutes for the first 3 episodes to about 500 million minutes for the first 3 episodes of season 2. And I don't even know where to begin with this, because that fall off is well earned. I mean,
yeah.
What were they doing with Min? Why is Min a dark friend? Well, or were they too chicken shit to make her a dark friend? Well, so she's just going to do dark friend activities and not.
Why is her power evil? Why is it bad? Never, it's different, but she never treats it as bad. Why is it a bad thing? I mean,
you guys remember when I had you react to those statements of Rafe Judkins that nobody had seen, and then he was talking about all this stuff, and I don't think any of us knew what it meant at the time. None of us could understand the scope and scale of the depravity and the incompetence and the negligence that went into that first script. I think a lot of us didn't think the script was fully on board, but having been through now half of an 8-episode season where there's 1,400 pages that have yet to appear on the screen, there is absolutely nothing from the Great Hunt. Nothing is occurring. Okay. And it started in episode 4 of season 1, where I think that's when they swerved back into the ditch that was the original script for season 1 that they had to reshoot. And now here we are. And I think a lot of us have this whiplash thing of, are we being gaslighted? What am I watching? Why can't you at least pretend that 2% anymore, that this is Robert Jordan? It's gone. And the pacing and the writing is so very clearly Amanda Schumann writing for The Blacklist or Chuck. There is no delivery of any line in season 2 that lets you believe that this is a fantasy show. There's no inflection. There's nothing. Is that unfair, Alex? Tell me what you think about that. I mean, you guys over the White Cloaks, you're doing the Lord's work. I need you to give me the hardcore gangster, unfiltered white cloak, cut the nuts off and shove them in their mouth and kick them off the roof. Take on this one. Steve liked that one. Go ahead.
The main thing is this is written by the Communist Department of Patriotism. Nobody is trying to tell this story. Nobody writing this likes this story. They are writing a feminist AU fan fiction that they've decided to adapt of this series, because this just is not it. I mean, when we have Immortal Forsaken, I mean, I don't even think they paused to consider the implications of a Forsaken that can't be killed with a sword. I mean, are we going to say then that
Just take her head. Just take her head. She's on the ground. Cut her head off.
set her on fire? Do
something. Like, she's down. She's down. Set her on fire. Cut her head off. Dismember her. Do something. You did not, like.
Hey, it worked in Halloween too.
How did she get into the house?
Moiraine? I don't know. She's
a
super
ninja. The same way she got.
Rambo.
She got to. The same way she got to Carheen. She flew. Like. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about any of that stuff. She's just there. You know, everything happening in Carheen is by Moraine's design. Sorry, go ahead. Excuse me.
No, I'm agreeing. Amazon's done a really good job of blocking screen caps if you try and pause and do a screen cap. So I'm going to have to capture some of these the old-fashioned way, which is to clean off my computer screen and then use my phone to take a picture of my computer screen, because that's how I got most of the images from my season 1 reviews. A little inside baseball. Amazon does not want you to have images of this show. They don't want you to look at how bad the effects are. And one thing I don't think we've discussed enough is every time someone has a sword battle, it's too goddamn dark to see anything. There's nothing
100%.
to be seen.
Can't see.
Let me get to this super chat real quick from our good friend, Jana. $20 Canadian says, of all the plot lines are based off of one-liners in the books. Perrin's Wife, Book 4, Nynaeve Warder Training, Book 2, Min. At one point in passing, Tyran talks about how she wished in the past she didn't have the ability.
Yes,
Post-it
and
notes.
you can add on Moraine trying to ditch land to that. So yeah, I mean it's post-it notes.
Is there anybody in chat? And if there is, you're not going to be attacked, that liked watching this show. And if so, tell me why. And we're not going to all gang up on you. In chat, please be respectful if there's anybody here, because I want, and I'm not talking about trolling Nas if you're here, Nas Ferrari. I want to know. I want to know what it is. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing, and
Thank you.
They've done themselves another disservice, right? Because the Hopper stuff, I don't know that it would have been. It felt weird because they did the whole plot frickin' vision thing with Perrin. I don't know that the Hopper stuff. I think the Hopper stuff might have been okay if we didn't have all this other crap going on around him. They send that. It's like, look, that's a hard thing to do. That's how they communicate with pictures and senses and stuff like that. So That's a hard thing to do. I'm surprised that's not something they chose to skip. And they dumped their budget into that for some reason. But when you do something so stupid as the plot vision thing they did in the where Rand should be seeing the lives of the people with the flies, and then you do it again in the previous episode, and now it does something else, it gets confusing because you don't know what the hell you're looking at. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, we've got Silverlock. Welcome to you. Hail, good sir. We're glad your house is still there after the hurricane. He says, I dropped my Prime membership after what they did. And I believe it. Silverlock is a man of his word. Outstanding dude. Outstanding dude with great taste in vintage or classic 80s RPG games that you can't find anymore. Nerdporial, when you watch this being done to Star Trek and you hear Steve and Alex and others, Dane earlier tonight, talk about the disdain and the anger, is this kind of what you felt with Star Trek 2? Or, I know that was kind of your first love, right? And
it's different.
But how does this make you feel? Go ahead. Yeah,
I
please
feel,
go ahead.
I honestly, this is different than Star Trek. I mean, Star Trek, I don't know if you probably can't see, but I still own all the Star Trek prior to 2005. So I can still always go back to that because that's what I liked about Star Trek in the first place. I mean, you guys have the books, but you have nothing. You have no other adaptation to go back to. So as much as woe is me with New Trek, what I think is happening to you guys is way worse. And that's why when I first reacted to season 1, and it's all online, I was really upset. It's really upset, and they did this to a writer, an author, who has been gone for 16 years now. And his wife is still with us, and she's in her mid-80s. She is elderly, and she can't do anything about this. I mean, they gave her money, but I mean, they basically they took something that meant something to her, because she was part of the creative process too with her husband. I mean, they're single-handedly destroying that they're trying to destroy that legacy. Now, as long as people like the books, as long as people keep buying the books and reading them and telling people like me to other new readers to read them, it will stay alive. And I think I still hold out hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. This will be canceled. I don't see this going beyond another season, honestly. But I think there will be another adaptation. I don't know how long it will take. And for those who are older who read the books when they first came out, I am so sorry. It's unlikely that they're going to have an adaptation in your lifetime. Heck, might even be in my lifetime. I don't know. No. But I'm really concerned about the future of entertainment industry right now. It seems like the new generation of millennials can't seem to write anything, and part of it I blame is the boomers and the Gen Xers who wrote prior, because they didn't either they didn't pass on the torch or they didn't pass on the skills required to write stories.
They didn't want to listen.
Or they didn't listen.
They didn't want to listen to any of us about anything. So now we have to clean up their fucking mistakes every day in every goddamn industry. And guess what?
Yeah.
They're in executive positions. Do you know why? Because they're really good at kissing ass, or because of this, because of the color of this. It is not because they know what they're doing. And there are those of us who are Gen X, okay, who said, you probably don't want to do that, and here's why. And you know what happens to us? We are shown the door because we're interfering with narcissists' idiocy. People who can make decisions that destroy millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at Disney. Look at Amazon. Look at Warner Brothers. Okay? Nobody is telling these people no. If you tell them no, you're not there. And there's a long line of much younger people who don't think critically, and that is a broad generalization. And if you don't fall into that category, I'm sorry, but it is fucking true. And there are those of us who are trying to keep our goddamn head down and do some good. And we've been trying to do that for the last 20 years. Okay. And trying to let people know, hey, you probably don't want to do that. This is what's going to happen. And you know what? These younger kids get so offended because you're daring to tell them the truth. That's the problem. And it's not just in Hollywood. It is in finance. It's in construction. It's in banking. It's in healthcare. It's in every goddamn industry. Look at the health of all of the industry that's out there in Hollywood in particular. Okay? Sorry. I had to go off on that report. So.
No, it's fine. Just if anybody ever confronts you about this, pretend you're Alex and tell them that their opinions are dog shit. Take it, Alex.
Okay. Steve, why did you hide? Did I do something that made you cringe?
No, I'm eating.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to eat in between all this, right? Like we were watching the show, and I had got like like I said before, the kids demanded steak, so I went to go get steak to eat while the episode was going, and I ate none of it because I was in such shock. My mouth just was hanging open, going, How did it get worse? I don't like. I thought we were at the low, and then Lan pisses on a tree. Moraine says, "This is all my making. I am a mastermind. I made all this stuff happen." We go to ask a guy that can't channel to teach a guy to channel. Then we kill a Forsaken that's not dead. It's like, what the hell's? I mean, tomorrow's Flippy or next week's Flippy kick episode. I can't wait. Avienda's in the cage confirmed, so Gaul dead confirmed as well, by the way. So that's great.
I've been posting comments in response to the question that I asked a little while ago, which is what were some things that you liked about this episode, and putting them on screen. And I think Arctis says this for 2 minutes with Perrin and Alive, so I was able to feel like it was kind of Wheel of Time.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The whole
Sort
that
of.
little wolf scene could have been okay, but then they've mucked it up with all the plot vision shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
what can Perrin do? Like it.
Perrin has a Patronus. Perrin can see Patronuses. And I don't know if that was the cheapest thing to do, but if you saw the episode, he sees creatures and animals, and especially like animals. They look like Patronuses from Harry Potter. They do. And I don't know if that's to get the Harry Potter crowd in or something like that, but I don't know. Go ahead.
I feel like
Go
they
ahead.
just.
Alex,
yeah.
you're awful.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve.
No, I'm all over the place, man. My brain is freaking fried, but you got a new member, so that's good stuff, at least.
Yeah. Amber Wilson says, I love how people defending this travesty say they have to cut stuff out. There's just too much in the books, and ignore how the show is just creating crap that never happened.
Yeah, there's no book.
There's nothing in season 2. There's nothing.
There's no book.
There's all the time is spent having emotional journeys, and it's women talking to women about other women. Have you noticed that? Like every scene is not about any of the men. Like it's not about Rand, Matt, Perrin, none. It's all women talking about other women, like they're literally passing the Bechdel test, which is not real. Every time there are women on screen. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Alex.
I go ahead, Alex. I'm trying to give him. I don't know. I just it's shockingly bad.
Egwene needs to stop
Cheers.
whining.
Yes.
Good Lord. If you are trying to combine 2 books into one season, you can't have people whining constantly. Stop fucking whining.
I think that tells you again the emotional maturity of the people who are writing this script. Now, we can give them credit and say they're writing this for a teenage audience that might not watch this show. I don't believe that. I believe this is the best they can do, and I believe this is what they did to Chuck, which is why that show went off a goddamn cliff. This is why The Blacklist went off a cliff. This is why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got canceled. This is why Uncharted was a shit movie. And this is also why God of War is going to suck donkey dick. Okay, I'm sorry that there's no other way to describe that.
Nope.
And I am. Go ahead.
You got a
Alex, please.
super from Silverlock there.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to catch up with everybody's awesome comments in chat, and I am way behind because I do not have a producer tonight. And all right, I think I missed another super chat. Go ahead, Alex. Talk while I fumble around here on the YouTube.
So Trip said she highlighted that she liked Moraine's sister putting her in her place. I'm kind of in agreement, with the exception
I
of the fact
disagree.
that why the fuck is
Why is she here?
Moraine's sister
Boom.
in the show in the first
Right.
place? Like,
That's it. Yeah, that's why it's like, great. Somebody called Moraine a moron, but why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Like, so I'm so glad you're here instead of, I don't know, Pat and Fane doing some Pat and Fane things, or like, where's Pat and Fane? Has anybody seen Pat and Fane? Will the real Pat and Fane please come out of the bushes? Where's Pat and Fane at? Has anybody heard any?
Dude,
has
I
anybody
don't
heard
want
any
to think about it
whistling
now.
in the
I don't wanna think
background?
about that.
Jesus, Nerdporial. Go ahead.
You said someone, where's Pan Fane? Well, did you see the way Pan Fane looked at the kid?
Well, yeah, but you know,
I want to welcome Articus to being a wolf brother. Thank you for joining the channel. We are going to be doing a member stream probably this weekend because I'm way behind on those. Sorry.
Yeah,
about that.
he magically got the episode up for everybody. So Articus, props.
That's amazing.
Articus was
That
the
is
MVP tonight.
I can tell you,
Yeah,
I
it's
can tell
up
you, I
now.
am not Articus, and neither is anybody else. It's
We are
a
all
joke on
Articus.
Spartacus. But we are.
I'm Spartacus. I am Spartacus. This is a super chat for $9.99. It's a quote. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's malice. This is malice. This is negligence. Incompetence is not knowing any better. This is negligence. You can see it in the script that Rafe Judkins originally wrote in 2018 that we're going to do a video on. You can see him bringing in someone who didn't know the books at all, which we now, in my opinion, know was entirely deliberate. He brought someone in who didn't know the books so they could do his shit script with his shit ideas and give us what we have here. Steve, do you think that's accurate? You've been following along with me. We looked at that goddamn script together live. Do you think that's fair? Thank you, by the way, Silverlight.
oh,
Thank
sorry,
you.
I wasn't sure. Yes, I think I don't know. This is all like, if you look at that and then you look at this, it's like every scene has some sort of weird sex, and it's all like like freaking the whole, even the freaking warder talking, they're talking about, oh, we're meditating and he's an idiot, and you know, she's trying to be, you know, he could be like us and be as good as us in bed too. It's like, why? Like, just why? Why is there some sex reference or bed reference or sexy time reference or kissing? Like, why is it all? Why is that all of it? You can't just have a serious scene where people are talking about something and not end it with some stupid sex reference. And like, how much of this screen cap is in this show of just two people talking about nothing that is important to anything. It's just they're talking, and it's like, it's boring. It's so boring, and it does nothing.
Yes, and it's terrible writing. The idea that because these writers are so goddamn horny, every character makes fucking sex comments in every conversation. So all of the characters sound the same. They're all fucking weirdly horny. So it basically sounds like everybody has the exact same mindset all the time, which is ridiculous considering how different these characters are.
In, like we talked about, this is written from the perspective of a 13, 14-year-old girl and making crude sex jokes in junior high. And is this who they were trying to attract? Because I remember the demographics of season 1 premiere, which is that overwhelmingly it was between the ages of 35 and 64. That accounted for, I believe it was 2/3 of the premiere audience, who all left at the start of episode 4 because this was not Wheel of Time. and that audience never came back. So I don't understand. I think Amazon just released this season because there wasn't a lot of marketing for this. And how much of a shit do you care about a show when you tell the media the wrong date of its release for months, and then you don't correct the articles? Because this show was supposed to come out on September 1st. Even the marketing materials days before it actually came out on Thursday were wrong. No one cared to correct that. How much do you think that this was in the can? They sat on this for 2 years. They probably went through and they darkened every scene that they could that was a fight scene, because the fight choreography looked, and I said it in my video, worse than the Sci-Fi Channel. And they're like, just put this goddamn thing out. And let's put it up again on Thursday Night Football so that we can blame Thursday Night Football on Amazon for nobody watching our goddamn show after the premiere. Because I think that's quite literally what's happening here. Guys, what do you think about that?
Even worse, it didn't come out at 8. Nobody could get it. Nobody could get it. We had one guy.
Nobody in Australia, nobody anywhere. I'm going to every app. Steve's going to his television. None of us knew what the hell to do. We had to backdoor into the Red Hand, like I said, and listen to this on Steve's microphone.
If Arctis somehow didn't break the algorithm of freaking Amazon's terrible streaming service, we'd still be watching it, or we'd just be ending watching it because it came out late. It didn't even come out on time, or they didn't tell anybody that they changed it to 9. Is it 9 now? Is it 8? I didn't know. I thought it might be coming out at midnight now. What the hell? Yeah, Arctis is the hero of the day. It's crazy. Maybe not. We were gonna watch it anyways, but I guess the quicker we get it done with, the better, right?
William Jones says, I just have to ask, what do these people have against hot women? William Jones says that he's gay and he still likes to look at pretty women. Not downing these ladies, but they are my last choice for many of these characters. Well, you're not wrong. That's deliberate, and that's intersectional feminism. You have to think about this as a corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion officer work. You can't take an attractive woman. You have to redefine what it means to be an attractive woman. That woman has to be older. That woman can't have big breasts. That woman can't look very feminine classically. She has to look more like a stick, or maybe she has to look like a beach ball. And it sounds insane, but these are the people that have been in charge of Hollywood that are slowly getting gone. But this has been going on for a long time and was made public. And I don't talk about this a lot, and I have to be careful how I say this, but a lot of Fortune 100 companies before all of this diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff were doing all of this. They were hiring people based upon physical characteristics, not because of competency. And you'll see a lot of those same Fortune 100 companies, what has happened because of that. Okay, that's not a racist comment. That's an experience comment. When you don't hire the best person for the job, when you hire the best person who fits your intersectional bingo card of superficial qualities that have nothing to do with the job you're supposed to do, guess what you get? Not the best results. I agree with it, William Jones. I have known a lot of gay dudes who would spend more time fixated on how attractive a woman was than I would. I'd be like, well, she has a great ass. And I'd be like, oh my God, look at her. Look at her hair. Look at it. I was like, dude, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about that stuff, but we can all appreciate beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the show, especially in season 1, gave us some of the most manly, non-Aes Sedai looking Aes Sedai ever. Now that it would be different if Robert Jordan did not explicitly state that all of the Aes Sedai looked young and timeless, except for the very, 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 very old, and even they looked unnaturally young. Am I incorrect in that characterization, Alex or Steve?
No, you're absolutely not. And it's actually gotten to the point where it's starting to interfere with the show.
Yeah.
Because when Moiraine goes to talk to her sister, the Discord lit up with comments like, this scene would be a lot more effective if Moiraine didn't look 50. And it didn't look like these two could be sisters without any kind of magical high. Like, I know they really emphasized that Fier is younger than Moraine, but like if you ignored that line, it was entirely possible to just think that they were sisters normally.
Yeah. No, if they're ageless, why are they all so damn old? If they look great, if they age slower, why are they all so damn old? They're all old, all of them. Like
Yes.
Intersectionalism.
Shiriam's old, Varen's old, Adelaus is old, Moraine is old. Like they're all old.
Yeah.
So how are they young if
Yeah.
they're old?
Doesn't
I'm
this show?
pretty sure that
Doesn't the show like? Didn't this show establish that they're like 1,000 years old or something?
They lived for hundreds and hundreds of years, is what they said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where does
Let me
one
just-
go? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead. Sorry, we got lag.
I was just gonna say, where does one even begin with talking about this episode? Because nothing happened. I mean, we basically got to the end, and there was. I mean, what did Rand do for the first 15 minutes of this episode? Rand swept the outside, had a conversation with Lantvir about not going to her house. And
Kinslayer's dagger.
then they hugged. And
had more sexy time.
yeah, then he fought a Fade in the dark. I have no idea what happened. Then the Fade was nice enough to stand still so that Celine could scoop him so that he could set it on fire.
Scoopage.
And then he let her tie him to the bed. And okay, I was going to make this joke in one of my episode 3 videos. Why are they always wearing clothes when they're having sexy time? Why are they always dry humping? Like
Bale gaze.
in Rand's dream, they're not boning, they're dry humping. How low does your self-esteem have to be where in your sex dreams you are clothed?
I mean, if you're Amish or you're in colonial America where they'd sew you in a bag together, yeah, look that one up. To sleep together, I don't get it. I mean, I it's a bizarro, puritanical, like they're trying to make this again for teenage girls, but then they're also normalizing all of the degeneracy and threesomes, and then that sexy time Atlanta cream pie nonsense that happened with Egwene. I do think it's starting to be malice. I think this was malice, but I also think that look at the results of Rafe Judkins. Look at the track record. Look at what he's done. He got given Uncharted. That should have been pretty much a slam dunk. Steve, you saw that movie, didn't you? I mean, you tell me, was it the same shit tier as this, or what did you think?
Uncharted, I don't think it was as bad as it. It wasn't great. Like, let's put that, but it wasn't this. Like, it definitely wasn't this. Somebody was probably holding the reins on it. Sorry, go ahead, Alex. What were you saying?
Yeah, so Judkins only wrote Uncharted. He didn't direct or produce it. So there was some level of outside influence to prevent it from being all the way trash. Don't get me wrong. It was still bad, but it wasn't this.
Yeah, agreed.
They didn't replace Nathan Drake with. Well, I was going to say they didn't replace Nathan Drake with a woman, but
with Daniela Drake.
Depends on your feelings about Tom Holland.
Oh,
I'm going to let Steve go on this one. This is one that we've all exploded on while watching it. And another serious question: was that Bale fire?
I'm going to say yes, actually, because I'm going to say yes because it disappeared. It wasn't like it flamed up, and I think that was exactly my reaction. Is that their version of Balefire? Because it just winks out of existence. Now, we all know that it's incorrect. Like the way they did it, there was no after image or anything like that. And it just looked like a fire. Whatever the hell. More strings. We're supposed to be like. It's the string attack again with the power, right? We're just doing the string attack. We're not actually making anything with the one power. We're just throwing strings at things. So, but we'll see. But I have a horrible suspicion that is going to be Balefire.
I want to interrupt for 1 second. Nathan, Amanda Manethrin, I look forward to working with you. I know you had obligations tonight. Everybody, check out Amanda Manethrin. He's making really good videos every day about
Agreed.
Wheel of Time. Huge fan, huge defender of Tolkien. Good dude. Has one of the sexiest beards, not just on YouTube, but in existence.
Not only
Give
that,
Amanda
just
Manethrin,
that sexy voice too. Like
give Amanda
best
Manethrin
person.
a sub. Also, El Dan, who watched us with us for a while until he got up because he hated this goddamn episode so much, says, I'm going to have to write a new song now. Please do. Please do. Everybody, Al Dan was the one who did that fabulous song that was on Prophet of the Dragon's channel that we watched. Alex, did you respond to that about the Balefire? Because I'd be really interested to hear your take on that one, man.
I don't think this show knows what Balefire is.
You're probably. I think you know what. You're probably right. I think I need to retract my answer. I think that's probably right. Yeah.
And if it does know what it is, then there's no way they're going to give it to a dude first. So
This is interesting. This comes from a Trip as well. So how is Moiraine going to be an accepted novice when Gatera has her foretelling? Well, in the script that I have right here, Gatera either commits suicide or is pushed off of, you guys keep me honest here, of the tower, and kind of does this weird, like God, what is it? In Harry Potter, the chick that gets the prophecy, the crazy one with the big glasses, channeling.
So with the exception of the weird sex stuff, that one isn't super far off. Like she has and she dies as part of giving the prophecy. But I'm trying to do some math here. So we're going to say Elvira is what, 80? So that would make Moiraine a minimum of like
Probably fair.
83 at the moment. So are we to accept that Moiraine was a 63-year-old novice when Rand was born?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm showing it on the screen. This is the original script that I believe was fully shot. These are the scenes. This is why these things start to line up, since we're talking about this trip. And I do want to do a video on this. I actually want to bring a bunch of people in that are much more scholarly when it comes to Robert Jordan and myself. This is a real script with metadata. But this, from the very beginning, Rafe Judkins' characterization. Does everybody want to know what Tar Valon was in Rafe Judkins' original script? He said it looked like Tatooine meets 19th century Paris, which is why all of the dresses in Carhian are 19th century Parisian with Japanese on the top. Think about that one a second. Are all of these things just accidents? It's ludicrous and it's insane, and yet here we are. I don't get it. What was your disgust about there? I think I need to get on this super chat, and then we're going to start probably winding. Now, this is a $5 Canadian super chat. How many times did they have to drub us over the head with Aes Sedai age slowly? 3 scenes showing in one exposition expose. The show likes to tell you the same thing, which means nothing, over and over and over, usually while they're sitting around at a table making sex jokes, making fun of Leia. And sometimes there's 3 chicks talking about their feelings and having some type of petty catty college dorm room tiff, and then dropping some exposition or a line from the books. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Alex. Thank you, Jana Clausen. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, they've repeated the same lines over and over and over again so much that it's just like, what? Just stop. Ishmael's like said, "Oh, I'm the father of lies. I'm the betrayer of hope. They call me Forsaken." Like
Every episode,
3 or 4 times. It's like, you got nothing else for him to say? That's it. Like, that's all he's got. Is just he's gonna go talk to people and go, "Hey there. My name is Ishmael. How are you today? I have a used car lot back here. It's called Betrayer of Hope Car Sales. because I'm the betrayer of the hope. They also call me Father of Light, and sometimes my boy over here, Forsaken, but he's a good car salesman too. So would you like a Subaru? Because now I've introduced myself again. Like it's like every time he comes in, I'm the father of lies. Some call me the betrayer of hope. Some call me Forsaken. It's like,
They're
is
not
that
the
like
same,
Call
for
me the
starters.
gangster
Father
of
lies.
love.
it's like
Some
are you a fucking like are you like freaking Woody from Toy Story? You pull the freaking cord and you repeat the same line over and over again. It's like, stop! It's just crazy. Say something that means something.
It used to be with season 1 that you could take a baseline. You could take a baseline with the books and go, okay, this is entirely wrong, but they were trying to do some like bad Portland, Oregon type of a junkie street theater thing, interpretive dance of a Robert Jordan scene. If you squinted really hard and were drunk, you could kind of see it. Again, I don't know how many times to say it. This season, if you're not watching it, you think that we're being engaging in hyperbole. We're not. This is probably one of the weirdest, soul emptying, dehumanizing, story of anything. It's not a story of anything. It's just shit strung together, people talking, and then they fight, and then they eat, and then someone else makes a sex joke.
Well, it's just
Like
nonsense.
there's nothing. There's no calendar. There's no hunt for the horn. There's no pad and feign. It's just shit strung together.
Well, and I think the worst part of it is, but of course, it's not even definitely not Wheel of Time. It's just not good. It's terrible. Like it's not even that it's a horribly bad adaptation. But on top of that, it's just boring and not good TV. It's not even like we can watch it and be like, oh well, that was sort of interesting at least, even though it has nothing to do with the Wheel of Time. It's not. It's not even good. It's just BS. It's just all bad.
Son of Jockster says what we're all thinking. I'm sorry, but the actress who plays Leandrin has such a distracting jawline jowls that I can never remember what she said. It is striking. It is a striking jawline. She also has the most dialogue of any character in season 2.
By far.
And have you and I brought this up in another live stream, but where the hell is the Amerlin seat? Why did they just go ahead?
I've been wondering the same thing. I figured they would be jamming her into every episode they could.
Yeah, where's she at?
Like, so was the conversation with Leanne there? Like, is Leanne a dark friend who has imprisoned the Amerlin? Like,
who freaking knows, right? I mean, is Leanne now a certain person? So that I don't want to say for temporal sake. Is that what they're doing?
I had a similar question because I mean, it's her job to be wrangling these retards, like Shiriam and Leandrin and Alana, and I mean, didn't in season 1 Moraine get tossed out of the tower for being too secretive? But then we're just letting Alana run off and do whatever the fuck she wants to do, and there's no accountability for the Aes Sedai at all.
But
I don't
And
know.
there's no actual Aes Sedai in the tower, and there's no actual other novices and accepted bustling doing anything. There's always like 5 or 6 people on a scene. There's always 2 people in the background monkeying around with something. They reused, and Steve pointed this out, there's a circular set that they use as the water training area that they lay AstroTurf down in, move a bunch of plastic plants on, and they're using that for like supposedly another room. This show doesn't seem to understand that a tower is circular. A tower doesn't have a bunch of circles within it. So when you show me the water tower with light coming down at a certain angle through windows and a dirt floor, you cannot then put down AstroTurf and then put down plastic plants and have the lighting coming in at an exact angle, because that's not how towers work. Am I just being a nitpicking dick, guys?
No, it's distracting. It's really distracting when you just see the same room with just different acts. It's like it's the same room. It's the same room, and it's just like it gets distracting after you see it 3 or 4 times, and then it's also distracting when you see a bunch of guys with their shirts off again, doing stupid moves, hitting the air, doing nothing, just to have Nynaeve go in there and have a weird conversation with a warder who is basically drooling all over her, and it's like, what is that? Like, the legend of Nynaeve grows. The woman who's so powerful, but she won't channel. Like, she's still not channeling. Like, Elaine even says it. You're going to Falme, and you're still not channeling. So what are you gonna do?
Be a bullet catcher. We've got a very old friend with us tonight. We got Steve Floral from Under a Rock, another fantastic puppet creator. He does Floral as well as Wilbur. I think the puppet's name is Wilbur. Says, I've never read Wheel of Time, but my brother-in-law, who loves the book, said season 1 followed the book perfectly, although they changed the characters. LOL. Well, I'm assuming your brother-in-law is a Canadian, so I have to take everything said by Canadian brother-in-laws with a grain of salt. Floral, it's awesome to see you guys. Please check out Floral from Under a Rock. Does great family-friendly puppet shows. Good dude. Thanks for being here. Thank you, everybody who's in chat. We've had upwards of 50 people, 60 people tonight. Great comments. That's why I'm behind on your chat comments. I'm actually reading them because you guys are crushing it. You guys are absolutely crushing it. Here we go. This is interesting. This is from Thumb Marilyn. The Amelin is probably traveling to Carhian. Maybe she is the only character who experiences realistic time travel. Well, it would be a first. That would be a first. And gentlemen, anybody who wants to cover that real quick? I need to catch up on some stuff in chat. Steve, if you want to vamp for a second.
I don't know. It's one of the it's now at the point where it's distracting that she hasn't made an appearance, especially since we're spending so much time in the tower. And then you have like weird scene from Leanne, like just it's like we have this weird thing where we keep trying to decipher what's happening, like, because we know what things that happen in the book. So then you get into, are they changing a character? Are they making this part of this character's role in the book? What are they doing, right? But like, I don't know how you feel, Alex, but it's because you brought it up, so you must be feeling the same way. I don't understand how we're now going to episode 5 and Siuan Sanche has not made an appearance, and we've spent all this time in the White Tower. Where the hell is she?
It has to be something to do with the actress. It has to be. That's the only explanation. They couldn't get her or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean that's basically it. Like, maybe they could get her for like 2 or 3 days, and they said, okay, we're going to shoot the scene of her and Rand talking, and that's the only thing they could do, because that's nothing else makes sense.
Did I miss the transition from Rosamund Pike's character, who's not Moiraine, being the most toxic, caustic, bitchy, unlikable, ungrateful, see you next Tuesday type of a number one on the call sheet character, to now where we need to feel for something for her, watching her with her younger sister in Carhian? Did I miss where I supposed to give a shit now for this terrible, horrible, emasculating, shrewish woman with an entirely made up story? Did I miss it? Seriously, did I miss anything?
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know. We now have 2 girl bosses going around cutting things that can't channel that should be channeling. Just it. Go ahead.
I got a question. What is it with this show and yeeting? Like, everybody's getting yeeted all the time. The girls got yeeted earlier today. They should be dead.
They should be dead.
I mean, they got yeeted against a stone wall. I'm assuming that was a stone wall.
It was.
I mean, they likely hit their heads. They're dead.
What do you think? Go ahead, Steve.
No. I disagree. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, Forsaken loves Loghain's little park. What was that bullshit? and we'll use this to wind down. What was that bullshit between Moiraine, not Moiraine, and not Logain, with her taking wine, and it's supposed to be this big conspiracy thing, and then giving him wine, and then telling him everything happened according to plan. But the part that I took away was, you were supposed to teach Lan how to channel.
Rand,
What is
yeah.
the problem? I mean, other than the books, other than anybody, like the lore, other than the relationship, what is the problem with Logain teaching?
I mean, look, he can't channel, so how's he gonna frickin' teach him to channel? That's number one. Number two, how stupid do you think we all are? Like when you say this stupid shit, that all of this, it's like the whole Min in the cell next to Matt thing. Oh, I knew he was gonna dig through that wall so he could find Min. Bullshit! When you keep doing this shit and thinking that we're too stupid to see that you are so untalented that you can't find another way to get these characters together, and then you have the gall. Moiraine has been sent out. She's been expelled from the tower. So why would the tower send Logain where she wants them to? It makes no sense. You're the reason I'm here. Why would the tower do? Why? Why would the tower do anything Moiraine wants them to? She's barely even there. And then, what magic did she do to get Rand to go to Cairhien? Why the fuck? And why is that like? It's freaking ridiculous.
How can you
it's all made to be like, look how smart Moiraine is. She's the best. And it's like, no, this is idiotic. It's idiotic.
I'm trying to track Leandrin's plan here. Correct me if I'm wrong here. So her plan was stick Matt and Min in jail cells next to each other.
Right.
Knowing that Matt was going to dig into Min's cell.
Correct.
Once they'd become friends, she was going to open the door so they could escape, so that Min can take Matt to an inn, so that Ishii can talk to Min in the inn.
Yes.
So that he can convince Min to take Matt to Cairhien.
Yes. You got it. Makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. What are we fucking doing? Like, that's what I mean. It's like, this is the Blacklist. This is Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is written by somebody, again, who's used to writing TV, probably for old people. And I'm borderline old person, but for people who are drooling and probably incapacitated, or for Gen Z that are doing the same thing and not really paying attention to what's going on screen, and they're doing this, watching TikTok, and then somebody does a dick joke, or somebody talks about like getting it on, and then they look up at the TV and they're like, and then they look down. If you actually have a brain in your head and you actually want to be entertained and you actually want this show to mean something, you have come to the wrong place. Go ahead, Steve. And then I need to get to the super chat.
Yeah, and it's like, Arctis also brings it up. He's been in there 6 months. He's been in there 6 months, and now this is just happening. All this is still happening 6 months down the line, which also doesn't work for any of this. And then on top of it, you break down Liandrin and Ishii's fantastic plan to get Matt to Cairhien. Why? Why is Matt going to Cairhien? Why?
Because
there's nothing in Cairhien for him. There's nothing there. Why is he going to Cairhien? Why do we want him there?
Because the show needs him to. Because the show needs him to blow the horn for some reason, like we saw on your show. I don't know. I think it was last night when we looked at the scenes. And if you want to pull those up again, Steve, we can end with that. Because yes, surprise, Matt blows the horn of something, and then there's magical like creatures that have a halo around them. Evil horned rat god has been incredibly patient while we've been spurging out about this abomination of a non-adaptation. It's a goddamn joke. The show is really hard to watch. for $5 says older actresses would have been okay with the aging so that they had an uncanny valley look, since that's what the book described. I agree. That's what should have happened. They should have looked using CGI
Yeah.
like they got too much plastic surgery and Botox, because that's what made Aes Sedai stand out in a crowd. Not their big, like, drag queen serpent ring ridiculous shit that the show did. Not the, hey, I'm a blue and I have to wear all blue all the time, you know, even though Aes Sedai are feared and kind of loathed, but they missed that. It's baffling. It is just baffling. I mean, you know, it's incompetence and it's malice in the show. They just literally don't give a shit. They just don't. Go ahead, Steve.
Real quick, I just Kat asked about Kat, aka Yogi. Thanks for being here. Asked about Brandon Sanderson's if he's made any comment about this, and I just want to bring it up because I think it speaks volumes. Brandon Sanderson does not care about this. Do you know how we all know this? Because Brandon Sanderson went live on his YouTube channel at 8 Eastern, the exact time this show was supposed to come out. He went live and was not talking about Wheel of Time. He was talking about his own stuff. So he gives no cares for this show at all.
No.
I doubt you'll hear a statement from him at all, because he is completely just, and rightfully and smartly, I think, is creating some distance between himself and the show.
We now know what he was talking about with the grim dark light. We now know, because that's the tone in the season 1 script, and now season 2 are obviously what Brandon Sanderson was referring to way back in November of 2021, because he knew what this show was. And it was probably Sanderson behind the scenes that forced Rafe to reshoot at least the first 3 episodes to vaguely make this look like Robert Jordan's world. Anthony Walkowczyk, if I said that wrong, just yell at me and put it phonetically in there. Okay, sorry, Prophet. He says Moiraine is like Gladriel from Rings of Power. You're right. Deeply unlikable.
Volkoviak.
Anthony Wakoviak. Moiraine is like Gladriel from the Rings of Power. Deeply unlikable. Thinks she's in charge. Castigating by the dialogue and actions that are created by the showrunners. You don't like her. She's not very smart. She's not very good at anything, but boy, is she in charge. You're absolutely right. Lady B says they did Logain so dirty. First he gets Sandoed, then he gets Rafed.
What does that mean? I guess I got to read and find out.
Yeah, you got to read and find out that one, buddy.
Yeah. You're about 18 months away from that.
Yeah.
Yep. Thumb Maryland. So the girls are on their way to Falme finally after 4 episodes. Rand is still in Carhian and still has to meet Suan. When does he leave for Falme? When does he leave for Terror? When do we get Calendar? We know the answer to that question. Episode 8, talk about slow pacing. Floral, Under a Rock. Steve, why isn't Steve topless yet? I'm so confused why he won't prove his point. You guys, what you do offline is your own business. I don't want pictures. Stop sending me pictures. Yeah, well, and I think what we're going to get is we are going to get the lesbian reunion of Moiraine and Suan Sanche. I don't think that's from New Spring. I think that's going to occur somewhere in Carhian, because obviously everybody in this goddamn show has to end up in Carhian, because that's what the plot needs them to do. It's so much worse than what we could have predicted. Yeah, dyslexic ultimatum. Moiraine pulled a Daenerys teleportation move. Yeah, this show has no shits to give. Shits to give.
All over the place.
When did Daenerys teleport? Oh, never mind. Season 7. Yeah.
Forsaken says, I bet Padden Fane shows up with the dagger and Matt ends up with it. Well, we talked about it. Do you guys want to say that one? And that'll be what we end with tonight. What is Matt's spear? Or wait a minute, I'm going to pull this image up because let me pull this image up, Steve, and this will give context to what you're talking about.
So we're not sure. This is just a rumor, and it's not confirmed. But we've seen some images. We've seen images of Matt with the staff with the raven on it. We've seen images with Matt in front of the dagger. So this is clearly Matt in the front here. These are the heroes of the horn. So it looks like he's actually going to blow the horn, if you can believe that somehow. But the rumor and the thing I've heard, and who knows if it's true or not, so take it with a grain of salt, is that Matt will retrieve the dagger from Pat and Fane, and they will cleanse the dagger, and he will put it on the top of the staff, and that will be his Ashendarai. Will be a random staff with the Shatter Logoth dagger on the top of it. Who knows if that's... like I said, grain of salt. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's stupid enough. It could be true. That's all you have to think about with the show. It's stupid enough. It could be true.
Cajun Corey, thank you for being here tonight. I saw your comments. I'm just way behind on chat. Great to see you. You guys, at the end of the day, and I'm going to take this off the screen, and I'm going to put one image up just because I think this best sums up this episode, and you've seen it before. Why do warders exist? Why do Aes Sedai even need warders? Because warders apparently only join the White Tower and serve Aes Sedai to have gay sex with other warders that they like. And warders in their off time are not busy mentoring or training or protecting their Aes Sedai. They're having little girl talks, and they're doing the dishes, and they're getting water, and they're washing clothes. They're not actually doing anything in either martial arts. They're not training. They're not working out. Let's start with you, Nerdporial. Is this what you expected from Lan? Briefly.
No. Where's like I've said before, where's Stone-Faced Lan? Where's Lan that trains Rand to use the sword, to sheathe the sword? Where's the one that mocking? Well, he likes to give people nicknames. Where's that Lan? That's the Lan I want to see. I don't know who this is. Like, he's smiling, he's emoting. That's not Lan. That's not Lan. I think Jonathan Banks would be a better Lan than this guy. I'm sorry, I had to bring him up, but it's true. Just give Lan some dead eyes, and he'd be perfect. And
he looks awful. He looks
Sensei awful. Sensei Matt says what we're all thinking. I think Lan is transitioning, and that is what I said in your live stream last night. They feminized Daniel Henney.
He looks terrible.
It looks like a teenage boy. They did everything they could to take away his agency as a warder. He's now femmy. He looks like he should be arguing over his soy pumpkin latte in Seattle with the barista. That's how it is. Alex, am I being unfair? What do you think about this? The dialogue, we watched it last night, but as the sign has this scene went on and on and on and on and was carried forward with nothing happening, and they stole the map. The other warder in Atlanta stole something out of Lan's jacket. Like this is a dinner party and this is lost. Tell me about all that in brief. What do you think?
It's very, very bad. Like, there's so much to take away from it, but honestly, it really just boils down to that this is just not it.
Well, hey, wait, let's track it real quick. So Moraine outsmarted Bale to get the poem, only to have Lan steal the poem. So then Alana and Matt and Ray's boyfriend can steal the poem from Lan, so they can read Blood Calls Blood again for no fucking reason at all. Oh, sorry. So that's where we are.
They're going to replace Golden Crane with the Flaming Flamingo. Woo! That comes from Sensei Matt. I think you're right about that. Lady by Balefire. The point of the scene was to feminize men and to put women in charge. Dominance. Absolute dominance. That's what this show is about.
Oof.
Extra feminine Land, that's your walk away. If you have not seen this episode and you enjoy pain and boredom and asking yourself how anyone in the right mind would have written this for any setting, not just fantasy, but for any show, a police procedural, a medical drama, anything.
I mean,
Watch.
I
Let
went.
me finish, Nerdporial.
Sorry.
Be sure to watch episode 4 because it will defy all rationality. Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, like going back to Lan. I mean, like Lan is someone that the boys looked up to. I mean, he was. I mean, even though he was a warder to Moraine, he was someone that they looked up to. I mean, he's still, you know, he had nicknames for him. I mean, obviously, he says sheep herder a lot. And there's a point where, I mean, he even calls Perrin blacksmith, and Perrin's just like, I'm not blacksmith, I'm called Perrin in the third book. So, but like he was there for Rand when Rand needed him, and he doesn't even understand it. He did it. So, but I like the character, and I do not see this character the way they show him. I do not see him being a mentor or being a role model for anybody. Heck, I'm not even. I mean, I don't see how anybody can look at that and look at the perform. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not going to blame him for doing what he's given,
Sure.
But like the character itself, the way the character was written, it's just so It's just
completely deconstructed because they took away what they considered were problematic because they know better than Robert Jordan, and they turned into this femi 21st century intersectional feminist denutting.
Like we're talking about feelings, like that's the last thing Lan would ever talk about is feelings.
Right. We're going to end on this comment from Sensei Matt, unless something really pops up because I'm behind. He says, one thing, nobody would have a problem with them portraying LGBTQ plus if it was part of the story. If it was part of the story. If it was part of the story. They were adapting, but stick it in like this, it goes absolutely against the grain. That's entirely true. It's because we only had 2 genders back in 1990 when I was there. I was 21 years old. We still do. Trip, what are you doing? Trip has a question. I do have a last question. Will Avi break herself out of the cage? Of course she will. And then she'll kill everybody while Perrin stands around urinating in his pants. Everybody, we have gone on for almost 2 hours. I was going to go an hour and a half, but you guys have been lighting it up tonight. I want to say thank you to all of the people on my panel. Thank you to Prophet of the Dragon. Thank you to Alex of the White Cloaks. Thank you very much to Nerdporial Lifeform. And most of all, thank you to you in chat. We're still hovering around 60. Not that it's about numbers, but the quality of your guys' engagement tonight, the comments you were making. I was so far behind in chat because I wanted to show virtually every comment because you guys are really smart and you guys are really observant in your biting wit and your observations. Make all of us on this panel laugh. Don't think that we're not reading those comments. It means the world to us. It also means the world when you watch our videos. When you give that thumbs up, you may think that clicking a button doesn't do anything. It really, really, really does. All of you who leave comments on Steve's, Alex's, Nerdporial videos, it makes a huge difference because it helps people on YouTube see the video. It's nuts. This is how YouTube works. We're doing battle against corporations who have shills telling everybody that this show is the best thing out there, and they have thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands more views than all of us on this panel combined. We are fighting a battle with our heart, okay? And we're doing it with bailing wire and bravado, in our honesty, and the best work that we can do. And you guys being here tonight makes that effort in the time of editing videos absolutely worth it. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you all very much. Absolutely. In passing, Steve, what's the next thing you're going to drop? Anything new?
We'll have an episode for something, whether it's a rage blow up or something. Okay. It'll be coming out soon. I just want to say real quick, if you're sticking with us for these, we're going to be hopping channels, so make sure you subscribe to the panel, of course, and if you want to keep talking about it. So we're rotating through. So if you don't want to miss the discussion, make sure you sub to everybody, White Cloaks, myself, Nerdporial, Man of Manethrin, and thanks for having me. And I don't know, my brain hurts.
Alex, I heard you talking about what you got coming out with in your legal battles. Please let us know all tomorrow when you get a chance. Nerdporial, love the Wheel of Time, Eye of the World book review. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out on Nerdporial's channel. And of course, I don't have an outro queued up tonight, so what we're just going to do is go to black screen. Good night. Thank you for being with us. If you're watching on the rewatch, thanks for your watch. Everybody, it's almost Friday.
Thank you for being a friend.